So let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're completely invisible? For example, let's say you're talking to a teenage relative, a niece, nephew, son, daughter, and that teenager is so engrossed in their phone that it seems like you could spontaneously combust without attracting any attention. As you've probably figured out, if you want to get that teenager's attention, you need to send a message to the phone. The same logic holds true with your business, as it turns out. If you want to reach local customers, you need to be listed in those places where the customer is looking. In this video, I will share with you the 5 most important tools that your business can use online in order to attract local customers. Before we get started with that, I thought I'd quickly introduce myself. I'm Justin FM with Justin's Web Design. For over a decade, I've been serving small businesses, helping them with internet marketing and web design. So that's enough of that. And now I'll present you with the top 5 online marketing tools for your small business to promote to local customers. And we'll do this in the classic countdown format, where the most important thing will be saved to number 1. And so we'll start with number 5. The 5th most important online marketing tool is Yelp. Yelp has moved from a good to have to a must have. I'm going to show you why. I should note here too that some business owners really dislike Yelp for various reasons, mostly in the way that they handle reviews. However, it is important to optimize this tool, and just because you're not actively using it doesn't mean that you won't be on Yelp. You generally end up on Yelp regardless of whether you proactively take control of it. But let me show you why it's so important now. Let's say you do a search for a local business in Google. So I put in plumber, Portland, Oregon. I'm looking for a plumber in Portland, and you'll see there's a ton of ads. There's ads here, there's ads up here, then the local listings that Google uses. And then what's under this is the natural, what we call natural results, natural search engine results. And you'll see on here, the top listing is a local company, but the second and third listings are both Yelp listings. And this comes up a lot. If you want to double check about how important Yelp is for your business, you should do the same kind of search. So whatever your business category is, and the location, the city and state, and just see what comes up in the natural listings. As long as Yelp is ranking well in Google, then it will remain an important tool for you to optimize. The 4th most important marketing tool is Facebook. Facebook is likely to be another kind of controversial pick for this list. However, Facebook allows you to have a business page, and it's basically a business listing on Facebook. And there are a couple of reasons you want to have this on here. One is that there are over 1 billion people on Facebook, and you'll see that you can get rated on Facebook. And again, just like with Yelp, you'll likely end up with a listing on Facebook regardless of whether you actively pursue it. So it's important to create just the business listing. Now I'd like to address a couple of the most likely objections you have to Facebook. One is that it's a big waste of time, that you're concerned about losing a bunch of time. And I'm not really recommending here a totally active use of Facebook. That is an option. But as far as just effectively using it, there are just some key elements that you need to have in place on your listing on Facebook. And actually, I can show you a way to set it up so that if someone messages you on Facebook, you don't end up with people thinking you're ignoring them. So you don't need to be spending a lot of time on Facebook on a regular basis in order to get the minimum amount of value from this tool. And again, just like with Yelp, this is more about what happens in Google, is why we want to do this. A lot of times the first thing someone will do when they are first considering doing business with you is Google you. How your results show up here is important. Now, I picked one of the companies that was showing up well in Google when I looked up plumbers in Portland, Oregon. You'll see that, there's an ad and then their main website. That's their main website, and that's what you want to see come up first. In this case, the Yelp listing, their Yelp listing is second, and they have some other directory listings, Home Advisor, MapQuest, Angie's List, showing up in the top 10, and then also their Facebook page. And a lot of times the Facebook page will be number 2. If you have a really poorly optimized site, sometimes it'll be number 1, or you don't have a website, a lot of times it'll be number 1. So you can see how important that is. You want to have some say over the content that is being displayed everywhere where your business is listed. Number 3 is citations. Citations are a little different than the other things that we're talking about because it's not a specific site. And a citation is simply any place where your business's name, address, and phone number, what we call the NAP, name, address, phone number, is displayed. Each of those displays of your name, address, phone number, each location where it's listed represents a citation, and that is part of the way that Google ranks local businesses. Let's go back and look at just a more generic search in Google. You have plumbing, Portland, Oregon. If you look past the ad, so these are all things that people have paid for. Then if you look over here, this is what we call the map listings or directory listings, and this has to do with your Google local listing. How well this shows up is highly influenced by the number of citations you have. So in a nutshell, we want to have your business information all the same. It needs to be, that's another key element, is that it needs to be identical. You don't want to have your address listed out one way, like abbreviated one place and then not abbreviated another place, and you don't want to have your business name. Sometimes you use a shorter version of your business name, and all of those, the name, address, phone number, need to be displayed in the exact same way in each of the different places for best results. And that will help you get more rankings. I don't want to leave you high and dry here. I want to show you the most effective little free tool that you can use in order to get more citations. And that's a site called Express Update. And this is what we call an aggregator. They take your business information and they submit it to a bunch of different directories so that you can get dozens, if not hundreds, of locations where your citations will show up. And it's just a free tool that you can use and will help you build your citations. Express Update is the tool. The citations are the goal, really. The reason for the citations is to improve your rankings on Google, and specifically with your Google listing. And it's called your Google My Business listing. The number 2 most important online marketing tool is your Google My Business listing. If you skipped every tool until now, Google My Business is more important. Although, as I said in the last thing, the citations help your Google My Business, so they kind of work together synergistically. And actually, all of these do work synergistically, but the Google My Business is by far the most important free tool you can use for your business if you're a local business serving local customers. The results of Google My Business listings, the listings show up in different places. The most significant is that in a regular Google search, if you search, you can see these map listings, what we call map listings, because they have them up here in the maps. Now, if someone's searching in the maps, it'll show up various places. It'll show up. And I should also note that how well you do here influences how well you show up in the organic listings. So this result here where Green Mountains Plumbing is coming up in both the map listings and the organic listings is something that happens fairly often. And the better your website is, the better your Google listing will show up, and vice versa. the better it is with regards to how well it's optimized for local searches on Google. So the Google My Business listing will actually show up even if you don't have a website, and will show up with your phone number so that people can directly call you. Depending on your business and how good your website is, this listing can actually be more important than your website, especially early on. Google gives more credence to websites that have been around longer, and so it's harder to rank down here in the natural listings when you're first starting out, when you first have your website built. In the long run, this is nicer because you can control it, the look and feel and the branding and all of that. But in the short run, a lot of times the Google listing is key. Another thing that I'll mention about the Google listings is part of their ranking for how well you come up on here has to do with your location. So if you're living in a suburb, say you're living in Beaverton, which is a suburb of Portland here, and you want to rank for Portland, you're less likely to rank for Portland, Oregon within the Google My Business listings. You're more likely to rank for Beaverton. Your actual physical location does matter quite a bit on this. It's not the only thing that matters. Sometimes, depending on competition, it will display businesses that are further away. However, for the most part, this is about local customers, and it's really everything I'm sharing is mostly geared towards local customers. If you take nothing else from this video, if you just go to business.google.com and create your local listing, or if you already have one, activate it and do the best you can in optimizing it, you will be way better off. And the number one most important online tool for your small business to reach local customers is your website. It probably doesn't surprise you that I say website. After all, I'm a web developer. However, bear with me for just a minute. Let me explain to you why your website is such a vital part of your marketing efforts. An effective website will amplify all of the other marketing that you do. An ineffectual website will actually detract from it. One of the key elements of this is credibility. It used to be having a website would help your credibility. If you had a website, it would help your credibility. Now we've moved to the point where having a website is an expectation, which means that if you don't have a website, it reduces your credibility. Having a website is kind of a minimum expectation. So people believe if you have a business and it's a legitimate business, you have a website. So that's one element of it. Another element is it allows you to start to build the relationship with the customer and pre-sell them before you get on the phone with them. So a lot of times your process will include either they send you an email or they call you. If they are pre-sold before they call you, then the selling process is way easier. So your website allows you to communicate with them, explain who you are, why they should do business with you, give examples, give testimonials, all of that stuff. It allows you to build that relationship with them ahead of time. Another thing to consider is that unlike the free tools that I've listed so far, 5 through 2 are all free tools that you can use in order to promote your business, and that's fantastic. However, with your website, you can actually control the look and feel of the entire site. With those listings, you can't control things like if your competitors' ads are showing on the same page where your website is listed. The other thing I'd like to mention here is that your website doesn't have to be super complicated or fancy in order to be effective. There are just a few foundational things that you need to get right with your website in order for your end user, your prospective customer, to appreciate your website and believe that it's an effective tool. So those are the 5 most important online tools. And make no mistake, they're way more important than any of the other online tools that you could use to promote your business. It's not a situation where they're just a little bit better. These are the most important by far. There are hundreds of different ways you could promote your business online. What I've done is filtered that down to the 5 tools that by far make the biggest impact on your business presence online. These are the tools that make it so that people can find you. They all have some effect on how you show up in Google, including obviously Google My Business. As you're probably aware, that's where most of the people are. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, what do I do now? How do I know if I'm using these 5 tools correctly? In a nutshell, I'll look at your business, look at how it's listed online, and give you specifics as to what's working well and what's not, as far as how your business is using these 5 online marketing tools. And this is a no-cost custom review that I will do for you. The process goes like this. You click the button to request a review, pops up a little form, takes less than 30 seconds to fill out. You fill out some information about your business, real simple questions like zip code and business name, and that'll generate an email that'll be sent to my inbox. At the same time, you'll be sent to a thank you page. On that page, you'll be able to schedule a phone appointment, and I'll be able to share with you how well your business is taking advantage of these 5 tools and where you can do better, with specific action steps to get the most out of these tools, as well as some extra tips. And we'll do some Q&A where you can ask general questions about online marketing as well as about what I've given you. So now I should probably address the elephant in the room. It's not uncommon for this kind of a process to be kind of a thinly veiled sales call. In other words, it's the free consultation, and really it's a consultation where the internet marketing expert or whatever is providing you a list of things that they can do to help your business if you'll pay them. So it's just a sales call is all it is. That's not what this is. This is a service that actually I'm planning on charging for at some point, the business visibility review, and there's not a sales component to it. The steps I give you won't be things that you have to purchase from me. Most of them are things that you'll be able to do on your own if you set up the accounts. The first 4 tools are all things that you may have already set up yourself, or you could set up yourself. And even on the website side, depending on how you have your website set up, you'd either have your developer implement steps or you would do it yourself or whatever. But there's no sales component to this process. The closest thing to a sales process in this call is at the very end of the call, I'll ask you a simple yes or no question. It'll be whether you want to schedule a strategy call, an additional strategy call. If we schedule the strategy call, that's going to be your more standard sales consultation kind of call, where I'm giving you the ideas of the stuff that I could do for you. If you don't feel like you currently 100% understand your marketing strategy and how you're using online marketing to build your business, if you feel confused about that, then what you don't know, and even what you don't know is hurting you. So you can click the button that requests the business review, schedule an appointment, and we will discuss the most important things that you can do within your business. And at the end of it, you'll be a smarter business owner for it. If you still have questions or you have concerns, you're not sure about this or that, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk to you. I really enjoy talking to small business owners, and I look forward to talking to you and helping you with your business.